YouTube. On this episode of The Naughty Librarian, we are going to be doing day 5 of the BookTube-A-Thon challenge, which is essentially like the class reading list challenge. It's from Marissa, aka Little Spider 9, and essentially you have to make up the class reading list of a class like you would teach or want to take. I'll post the original video down below so the directions make sense. You can teach any subject you want, but you have to pick a couple of book examples that would be on the reading list for this class, and one of them has to be from your BookTube-A-Thon TBR list. However, I am an overachiever, so I am using not one, but 2 books from my BookTube-A-Thon TBR list as examples. I mean, really, like, I could pick like a lot of books for an example, but I'm just gonna go with 2 because nobody's got time for that. Okay, class is in session. For those of you who watch my videos, you know I read a lot of romance novels. And in romance novels, the main point of them is the relationship. So I want to teach a class about healthy relationships. In romance novels, you see a wide variety of different relationships. You see like the good, the bad, the really abysmal ones, but there's all different kinds of them, and I want to like highlight a good healthy relationship and a relationship that's obviously not healthy but for some reason is still being romanticized. Okay, let's just jump right into an unhealthy relationship so you can see the difference between that and a healthy one. An example of an unhealthy relationship from my BookTube-A-Thon TBR list is Naked by Rain Miller. Oh boy, I have a lot of problems with the romantic male lead. His name is Ethan, and he's a fucking psycho. They want you to think he's really protective of her and he's caring, but the way that he acts as protective, it's like he fucking stalks her and then like has his employees like follow her around for protection, and it's like, what? That's not protectiveness. Ah, fly! God damn it! Back to what I was saying. That's not protectiveness, that is abuse, because basically he's controlling her entire life. It's not okay. I don't know why relationships like this are constantly romanticized. It's very similar to the relationship of Anna and Christian in 50 Shades, where essentially he's like, just takes everything from her and is like isolating. And that's exactly where abusive relationships start. It starts with isolation. And that's essentially what's happening here. Our romantic female lead's name is Bryn, and if I was Bryn's friend, I would tell her to run the fucking other direction from this guy, because he looks like he's a bucket of crazy just waiting to spill over. He's like obsessed with her. He's obsessed. Not like, oh, I'm really into this girl and I'm very interested, so I'm like kind of obsessed, where it's like fun. No, this is fucking obsessed. Like, they've been dating for like a few weeks and he's just like in love with her. Like, it's crazy. Like, I think he's a crazy person. Like, I'm very worried about his mental health. However, this is still being romanticized, and she's like thinks he's so great and so perfect, and I'm like, bitch, please, he's gonna murder you probably. I mean, it's a romance novel, so he's probably not gonna murder her, but like, it's a possibility. Taking control of someone else's life so entirely and having them fucking stalked is not a healthy relationship. This is a very unhealthy relationship, and people should not read books like this and think that's what a healthy relationship looks like. As an example of a healthy relationship from my BookTube-A-Thon TBR list, I chose Changing the Game by J.C. Burton. I mean, the cover obviously is amazing, but what's in between the pages is also very good. You know, it's not like a deep plot. It's like he's a baseball player, and then he like falls in love with his agent, and then they like love each other. It's a contemporary romance. It's not like groundbreaking literature. However, Gavin is an excellent guy. I mean, in the end, he kind of starts acting like quite a dummy for a while, but I mean, that's to be expected because it's a romance novel. Something has to break up the relationship so they can get back together, because that's just how they go. Let's get to their actual relationship for a minute here. Gavin is an example of what a healthy relationship should look like. Here are some examples of healthy relationship behavior that Gavin does in changing the game. 1, he does not stalk her. He lets her have autonomy in her life. He realizes that she has a career, and then occasionally, since she's a sports agent, she has to travel. And he doesn't stalk her. He doesn't go follow her around the country. He doesn't send her a billion text messages. He realizes, oh, she has a career, and I'm not like her entire world, and I can't force my way in there. So they have a very healthy relationship in that aspect where they don't like control each other's like whereabouts. Also, Gavin is the kind of guy who actually likes and respects women, because not once in this book does he objectify women as only sex objects. I mean, his character does sleep around a little bit because, you know, I mean, that's his fucking body, apparently. So, I mean, like, there's probably a line around the corner to get at this, so I understand the temptation. However, you never hear him talking about the women that he does sleep with as if they're just pieces of ass. Like, he talks to women like they're people, and he has conversations with them, and doesn't just treat them like they're there to, you know, blow him. At one point, I can't remember what the exact quote was from the book, but at one point he even says that he really likes smart and independent women because he finds them the sexiest. And his love interest, Liz, is very much smart and independent. Like I said, she's a sports agent and she has her own career. Like, she's got her own stuff to deal with, and he doesn't force his way into her life and try to control her whole life. He just wants to be part of it. And that is what a healthy relationship is. You should just be part of each other's lives. You can't, like, take everything over. Also, like, the smut is fantastic. Like, but that's neither here nor there. Well, anyway, I could keep going on and on forever and ever about all the examples about why these two romantic male leads are very different and how their relationships are very different, one being toxic and one being healthy. I can keep going on and on forever, but I think I got, like, the main points in. And there's so many other books that you can bring up that have the same type of themes where you can tell, like, as a smart person, wow, this guy's a bucket of crazy, and like, wow, that guy seems like an okay dude. This type of man should be romanticized far more than this type of man. There's no excuse for this behavior. It's just bullshit. This behavior is very good, and he's got abs for days. Like, what else could you want? Alright, that concludes today's class on healthy relationships. I will see you tomorrow for day 6.